I am Corey Thorne, the spiritual healer. Um, I am just just waiting for people to join in, just letting a few people get in here before I start, as we normally do. And I also bring up on my phone so I can see if I have anyone joining. I know it's morning. This is a weird time of day. And for anyone who watches the replays, you're wondering, why is she doing these in the morning? Why doesn't she do them in the evening? Because I teach in the evenings. So I teach every day in the evening. So I have to do these earlier. And then I've been taking some real serious time for a lot of my other work that needs to get done. Good morning, Stacy and Ashley and Lindsay. Good morning. So today we are still working on my new deck of Oracle cards, which we are beta testing, and I'm sharing my journey with everyone as we've been going through this. And of course, these didn't just magically appear. We've been working on these for probably close to 2 years in total, and so we're still working on them. But I'm sharing the journey. So if you were here in the first one, or you've seen me share these before, you see me share the pictures, the artwork, but you didn't see me share the actual cards because I only got them 2 days ago. So this is beta testing. There's some changes we're going to be making, a few little things, but not much. But I'm just getting the next card. Good evening, friends. I know we have a big time difference, right? Good morning, Linda, Rachel, Tracy, good morning. Ellie, good morning. You made it here. Oh, you're hanging out with your grandbabies. It's Summer, good morning. Stacy, good morning. You caught the notice? Yay. And Cynthia, good morning. Jessa, good morning. And Angie. And I think everyone else up above that I got. I'm just looking for card 6, which I should have done, but the cat was sitting on the cards. We did 4, we did 5. Just give me, I'm just letting people join in. So while you're waiting, we're just letting people get in. So good morning, Kimmy. So remember, this is just my quick drop-ins where I go through my cards and we talk a little bit about each card that's being created. Because these are not out yet. They're still new. If you were on with myself and Lisa Star Francis yesterday, she kind of called me out on my cards and she got me to use the cards yesterday. So I did use the cards in her group yesterday, trying them out. We talked a little bit about, her and I talked a little bit about me and my sense of never kind of sitting in my moments. And always, not taking that moment for myself. Oh, you missed the card from yesterday. Okay. Let me see if I can show you, friend, while we're waiting here. What the card was of yesterday. I just got to find, because I have them in order. What card are we on today? 6? It's 4. I think it was hollow. Hollow was yesterday, yes. And so in the cards, it was hollow. And that was the card of yesterday. And the fragments of you. And you've probably seen me use the picture of hollow elsewhere. Prior, I pulled that card out a couple times and spoke about it. It's such a beautiful card. So, hey there's Lisa Star Francis joining in. So yeah, yesterday Lisa and I pulled out these cards and she kind of called me out to get my cards out along with we were using her cards. So if you don't follow Lisa Star Francis, she goes live every single morning and she's like, well, she's off for 3 days, but normally and this is the first time she's been off in over a year. So this woman is loyal, but this is her cards. This is my cards. So this is the new design on the back of my cards. And this is a door. And I know people say, well, how is that a door? That is a door. And that's a keyhole. That's an opening right here. This is where we put the key in. So I always say my My intentions that I'm always helping give people the keys to start opening their hearts to be able to start their own journey. I give you the first key to unlock your heart, and then the rest becomes a journey of your free will and your choices to choose the actions that you take towards your own journey. And of course, I have a lot of great programs that you can get involved in, take to. When people always say, oh, I wish I could do this, I wish I could, I'm like, I have tons of great products. I have tons of great classes, not just myself. We have a platform in Corey School of Magic that has many great people teaching in there now. We have everything from Lisa Starr Francis, her Word Alchemy. She's doing a amazing program. We have Lisa Richard. We have Tracy Leggett, who's also teaching a tapping and a Reiki circle, that kind of work in there. We have Michelle Gibson, who's doing some energy healing, energy work. Oh God, who else do we have? We have so many. There's so many, and I'm not intentionally leaving anyone out. It's just the school has a lot of stuff in there, and so yeah, a big key. Actually, funny you say that, Fran, because that's my big key. I keep it right there. I keep it right there all the time. So Diane, today I'm just doing my one card. So these morning ones, Diane, that you're coming into. So anybody who's coming in the mornings with me, what you're getting in the mornings when you come in is this is my new deck of cards. So I'm initially starting with doing the one card. We'll see how it goes with everything else, but I do this. I'm only doing this in the middle of the rest of my work that I'm trying to get out right now. So because we're trying to get these cards ready to go to print or full print, and we're also trying to get my two of my books out, plus launching more courses in the program. So that, and plus I also have a live mediumship that's coming up that's launched in the school, but on Valentine's Day, I think it is, or the 12th, February 12th, somewhere around there, I have I'm doing a live mediumship. And so that one is a small group. I usually don't take any more than 20, 30 people in there. And I offer out 2.5 hours of mediumship. Whether or not you're chosen directly, I try to keep it small so that I can give everybody a little bit of something. So that one's also in there. But our card for today is my beautiful Paisley. And so, Diane, I can guarantee you, everybody gets something out of this card that comes up. So every card that comes up and there's a message for everybody in here. So please stick with me with this message, okay? Because this might just mean a whole lot to you, because this card has a lot of meaning. I'm just going to find my little piece on her. What do I do with her? Not that I really need her, because she changes. The issue with these cards is that they have like a little mind of their own. And I said, they're like my little rebellious little teenagers someday, now that I got them. And I have like 6 decks in the house waiting to go out to the beta testing, out to the girls that are working with them. And I'm like, oh, these little cards got little attitude, and they keep changing their story. I mean, they keep moving, but that's the card. The cards are like from the shadows. And so they're the everyday goddess, and that no matter what we're in. And so the everyday goddess is not only about a female, it's male energy. It's like we have both a balance of female and male energy. And our whole mission in wholeness is to live balanced and whole in connection to your feminine and in connection to your masculine. So bringing that energy together. And so the cards are both female and masculine energy. It's not all about feminine energy. So people say, well, all the pictures are girls. And I'm like, yes, because I'm a girl. And it's based on the journey that I took from beginning to where I am today to get here, and how our attitude shows, whether it's good, bad, our attitude shows depending on the reflection of how we feel in the presence of people, whether we're being brave, courageous, or where we're just ready to let go, just surrender. So today's card is peaceful perspective. Peaceful perspective. And when we make peace with our past, and if you can see, you can't see her other hand, she has let go, and she's surrendering over what's out of her control. She's finding the essence of her beautiful self. And so I just want to say this as well. So the cards are broke down into three categories: the maiden, the mother, the crone. So it's the beginning stages of our journey, and then it's the mother stage, so the mother father energy, when you start to gain a little more wisdom, knowledge, when you start to have to be responsible for more. And then the crone is like the alchemist, the person who's kind of getting it. They've kind of got that wisdom that we need, but also very open to still learning and growing. And so the maiden is like, I'm going to do it my way. I want to do everything my way. I know what I'm doing. I don't need help, but you got to learn all the lessons the hard way, type of thing. But we have that in us no matter what age we're at, right? We still have that sense that we get caught in. So no matter where we are, and so the peaceful perspective, and her name is Paisley. So my grandmother and her twin sister were Pansy and Daisy. And so Paisley is kind of the blended name for me. And they were so much alike, but they were so different. And that's kind of where I kind of start to get that perspective. It's like, just because they looked alike didn't mean they were all alike. And that's kind of the, like, just because I look like this doesn't mean I'm that, or just because I do this doesn't mean I'm. And so I found myself being very defensive over the years of, people who judge what I do and how I show up. And I'm like, I'm very, and if you've been following me a long time, you're very aware that I do channel Jesus, and I channel Mother Mary, and I channel a lot of what is associated to be the Christian entities of God, right? And I'm like, of the heavens, of the spiritual world. But I also channel through the goddesses and that energy and the Palladians. And I'm like, the universe is so much bigger than what you think, but the energy behind it all is so much alike. And it's only what we make an enemy out of. And so when people make me their enemy because they want to be, they're taught and conditioned to fear, right? And so you're conditioned to fear, to believe that when you see the word of what we do and how we put ourselves out there, that you need to attack that. So we do that to ourselves as well. We attack our own selves. So it's like, I've been under attack a lot because I have these gifts and abilities, and I hid it for so long because that was like weird, odd, or you don't want to offend anyone. You don't want to make people feel uncomfortable. And I remember even at my job, people say, maybe you shouldn't have that Buddha on your desk. Maybe you shouldn't have that on your desk. And I said, so maybe I shouldn't even have a picture of Jesus or Mother Mary. And they're like, yeah, maybe you should just make it neutral. Maybe you should just make it so that it doesn't bother anybody. I'm like, but that's not who I am. So you're telling me to lose me to make other people comfortable. Is that what I'm being told? Right? So we do that to ourselves in lives, and we get that. And I said, well, if I make people that uncomfortable, why should I be accommodating them? Why should I be giving them my light? Why should I be having to change me to make people comfortable? And so when I stopped changing me to make other people comfortable in their fears and insecurities, I allowed myself to let go, because with that then becomes frustration, anger. You lose yourself, and then you're never at peace with you. You're never at peace with you. And, even in people that would be my life, you'd make relationships with these people, you'd build friendships, and nothing wrong with them as a human being. But when you become their issue, their problem, and they don't have to change their opinion, or they don't have to broaden their mind and open up their mind, they have a limited belief of you. And as long as you're that, you are acceptable, then is that really the place where you want to place yourself? Is that really the home for you? Is that, and by home, I mean the friendship, the relationship. And so every time that you have to take away so much of yourself to make somebody else comfortable in any relationship, then you're in the wrong relationship. And that's the truth. So this was me truly making peace with all of who I was, to know. And she's in the beautiful pink dress because red is so powerful, and red is so, it's got such passion, so desire, but it also makes people very hungry, right? And so it makes you hungry. Pink is the peacefulness. Pink is soft. It just softens who you are when you let go of having to harden yourself to be protection. And so once you get so much of that anger inside you, you say, I'm just hardcore. I'm just hardened to life. And no, it's not. That's still just as much fear as the person who's judging you. So it's the same thing. The anger is fear. The frustration is fear. It's all still tied into the same story, into the same energy with a different story. And so when you can let it all go and just say, you know what, I wish them well. I just don't have to keep trying to accommodate the fears and insecurities of others. But we also don't have to keep accommodating our own fears and insecurities. When we learn what it means to truly surrender, when we know what it means to, to let go, because we have a grip, right? We hold on so tight. And when we have a grip on stories, we have a grip on the past, when we have a grip on holding a grudge, when we have a grip on anger, when we have a grip on anything, we're holding on so tight that it's like tug of war. So you're trying to go forward, but you're taking it, but this keeps pulling you back in. You keep going, and then you're angry at it, but you're the one still holding on. You're the one who will not let go of the story. If you let go of the story, then the moment you let go of the story, now you have an opportunity to gain a new perspective, to look at things differently, to not be so angry with those other people that just cannot open their mind. Just say they are where they are. That's their limiting belief. I'm going to take the journey to keep growing, keep ascending, so it's like you don't you can't grow and change your life if you stay in the same story. You can't become that person that you just want to be if you keep staying accommodating the fears and insecurities of yourself and of other people. So this little beauty is truly, she is surrendered. And if you look at her hand that is up in the air, her hand is up because her hand is receiving. She's giving back. She's giving back the past, but she also knows to give back. She also has to give love. She also has to send love energy, to send more hate, to send more resentment, more of that energy of what is being casted at her. If she start casting that back, then she's no better of the energy. You're not going to heal by casting back what's being thrown at you. You got to cast back with love. You got to cast back with forgiveness. You got to cast back with faith and hope that, you don't have to forget. And, you don't have to forget, but you have to heal. And so to be able to let that go, then truly allows you, well, over here, you're receiving unconditional love. You're doing the work that you need to do. This hand's what I want to go this hand. And to be gaining everything that you need to gain for you. Well, you can send hope that maybe someday the rest of the world may catch up. The rest of the world may get this someday. And I was listening to a beautiful woman speak yesterday, and I would say, even if I don't have the same views, I try to listen to people. I try to be open-minded. And so I was listening to her, and she said, we don't have a world problem. We have a spiritual problem. We have so forgotten the spiritual connection to our inner self, to love. And there's a whole sense of self-absorption. And when we become so self-absorbed with the negativity and what the world is doing wrong to us, and that everybody is a reflection of everyone who hurt us in the past, or we're still, into everything that hurt our parents in the past, and and everyone has to pay for that, then we're never going to find peacefulness. We're never going to be able to come together. And the beautiful thing about that twinning energy is that when twins can come together in a healthy sense, in a way of like, it's magic. The relationship between my grandmother and her twin sister was magical. And it was such love. And they accepted each other for being different, but also looking alike. And they loved that. But there's so much to learn when you see something that is twinning together. And so by bringing your masculine, your feminine together, by returning to the Trinity, to the wholeness, to the center, by finding that middle ground, by putting yourself on a solid foundation in yourself, you truly then are ready to surrender, to let go. And as you see her beautiful scarf that's floating through, that's the beautiful white light. And that beautiful white light, that cord, and so it's also the silver cord, can you call it the white light? And so we also have this corded connection that keeps us connected. And more that we try to extend ourselves, to take ourselves away from source, away from the light, the more that we try to disconnect and say that we're disconnected from source. I don't believe in nothing. And the more that we become, into our darkness of us, the more that we stretch that out. So it feels as if we're losing that connection. But the God consciousness never lets go of us, because the only way that you're going to lose that light is when you die. And then you're not losing it. It leaves the human, right? And so the only way you're disconnecting is when that source decides to go home again. So when that source decides to go home, so that rush to kind of get to the end, to be seen, to be important, to be a number one, all of that is for what? If you just come back and you can sit comfortably in here, that connection to source comes from your breath. How do I know? Breathe. You're still alive, right? Breathe. It's still inside of you. So that light is still inside of you. So you're forever connected. And so when you're forever connected, you just know that you're always twinning. When you twin love instead of hate, when you twin empowerment and faith instead of control and power, when you twin everything that powers us up on love, faith, hope, you truly start to soften who you are. And not that you got to wear the most perfect little image. I would say I've met some of the most beautiful souls who are, look like the hardcore people of the world, and they're the most beautiful souls I've ever met. It's about finding you and finding the truth of you, that you don't have to defend it. You don't have to keep staying in shit that don't belong to you, and just trusting the journey and trusting and knowing that you are worthy. You are worthy of the surrendering. You're worthy of the beautiful energy coming in. You're worthy of living in your own light. And so this is Paisley. And she's a 6. So she's also a 3, the power of 3s, which brings us into the Trinity. And if you flip her upside down, she'd become like that 9, right? So she is full at the center of us, at the heart of us, when we can make peace with our past, when we can make peace with everything we think we did wrong, or what people, the reputations people built for us. When you can make peace with all that, when you can make peace and stop trying to deny who you really are, when you can allow yourself to be, and you can breathe that through, then you are the energy of the beautiful Paisley. And of course, the dove is the spirit animal that is tied to there. And if you can see the light beaming in and you see her hairs moving, she's trusting the flow of the energy. She's trusting that that breeze, that Mother Earth is blowing away all that's not serving it. And she's willing to walk into the storm. She's willing to walk in and know fully who she is, that she knows no matter what comes, there's peace in here. When you make peace in here, you can handle so many other things that happen in life. So that is Paisley. And so she's also, once we can truly remove all of this energy that holds us into a limiting belief thinking, when we open up, broaden our horizon, we realize how vast and big the universe is. We realize how much space we have. We can realize how the ability to communicate, to know, to feel, to sense, that is all there. We have everything that we need around us. And so she also comes with if I had to keep hiding who I was, I wouldn't be who I am today, and I wouldn't be able to be here to do the work that I do. And that's what you have to remember. If I let go, if I just let go, I can become who I am here to be. And so when people say, "Oh, I need to find my purpose. Oh God, could you help me find my purpose?" And I said, "Can I first help you find you? If I can help you find you, you can learn what it means to live on purpose." Because as long as you're hiding the parts of you, or living in the past, or allowing the past wounds to get to you, as long as you are doing that, you're always seeking a purpose on the outside in the material world that will validate you, that will give you the justice, that'll make you feel like you're accomplishing something, and then you'll give your all to that. When you find you, when you become you, when you don't need to be, I would say, when you don't need to be a part of the mob of it all, when you can let go, you understand what it is to live on purpose. And there's such a peaceful solution that until we're willing to surrender and just trust that it's not going to be easy, but it's going to be worth it, then that's when you understand that. But we want it now. We want it now. We want the outside world to provide for us. And the outside world does not provide what we need the most for us. It's an inside job, and it's up to you to do it. And nobody else is doing it for you. Well, your colors would all depend on what you're seeing and where you're seeing it. And like, and so, purple would be that sense of loyalty. It depends on the color. It could be, it can be softness, it can be calm. So in the third eye, so are you seeing in the aura or are you seeing third eye? And that's another question. Where are you seeing that purple? Because purple is the energy center of the third eye. It is in our intuition. It's the ability to see beyond. And it's also that loyalty to trusting. And so when you start to have loyalty towards trusting your intuition and not being caught in our fear instincts, it's like when you start to be loyal to your truth, loyal to your life. So when you start to find that, and this third eye energy, this is all third eye energy, right? And so third eye energy is also pineal gland in the back. So really truly clearing and opening this. And when this pineal gland and all of this starts to open, I would say it's like your little third eye. This will see much more clear than these human eyes than these human eyes can see. And so I feel like I need to tell you that part, Lynn, because I think that's kind of what you may be more seeing. And so what I'm getting is that sense of that third eye really truly is, that sees clearer than these human eyes will ever see. Yeah. Because that's what I feel like for you. I feel like for you it's clarity. I feel like it's loyal to you. I feel like it's like a commitment that you need to make to self is what I'm getting. And I feel like you have to make that commitment to self to allow yourself to know that the everything that we see with these eyes is not always the truth. There's more to the story, right? And people say, "Well, I seen it." Well, but did you see everything? Were you there previously? Do you know the person? Do you know everything that was involved? Do you know what happened prior to that experience? Right? And so what I'm getting to you, that's what I'm getting for you, Lynn. Yeah. Christy, I just walked out of a spiritual healing session. I'm working on a new me. You've been very inspiring me. Had a very powerful visit with my brother's house. Just went. Ah, he arrived in his plaid jacket again. Oh, that's so cool. So me. Yay. That makes me so happy. That makes me happy. I'm so glad you're doing that for you, Christy. Yeah. You need to hear that today, Stacy? Good. Good, good, good. That's what I like to hear. So, um, we have a lot of snow happening here today. So I hope that card resonated with you. I hope it helped you in some way. Um, and I will be in sometime over the weekend to do one of my big lives, but I'm teaching a lot. I have a lot of classes on the go right now. I'm teaching 2 level 1s of More Than Existing. I'm teaching level 3 of More Than Existing and level 4 of More Than Existing. There's also a soul revival that I've been doing, and a goddess within that I'm teaching. Plus, I'm doing the book club. So I do all of that, plus getting these out, and plus writing books. So in the past 2 years, I've written 5 books, created a deck of oracle cards, and still show up here for you guys. So when you say you don't have time, it's where are you putting your time? Right? Where are you putting your focus? How much time do we actually spend doing things that are not of service to us? Remember that. And so when we start this journey, and I'm going back to Paisley here, this is still about Paisley. So when you start to really put a focus into you, you start to awaken to the awareness of everything, of your words, of your thoughts. And this is where Lisa Starr Francis was huge for me, and even being able to write my books. You put your thoughts, you pay attention to your thoughts. You let that thought that you want, that when we want to be the mouthpiece and we want to get our point in, blah, blah, blah. Well, you let those thoughts drop into your heart. And when they drop into your heart, they get transmuted to love. And then you think about them a little bit more before they come out. You become aware of how much you're investing into everything else in your life and how little you are investing into you. And when you become aware of that, you start to make changes. It takes time. I'm still working on that. Don't worry, I haven't got it all down pat. But you make time. And so when you do that work for you, when you start to pay attention, time is a big thing. How much time do you spend scrolling through when you say, oh, I don't have time to meditate. Well, do you get up in the morning and go through Facebook and spend 15, 20 minutes going through Facebook? Well, then you just told yourself a lie. We lie to ourselves, right? And so when you learn to take ownership and responsibility of your life, when you learn to stop, when you learn to be honest with yourself, you truly start to call yourself out on your own bullshit. You start to call yourself out on the things that you convinced yourself of, because we convince ourselves of these stories and then we hold them to be truth and we live in that reality. Oh my God, I'm so busy. I don't have time. Well, yeah, I might have worked even 15 hours a day, but you know, if I got home and then I spent another hour scrolling through Facebook, was I doing something that was of the highest service to me? Or was I busy watching things of people I don't even freaking know? Right. And so and then you get worked up on someone's comment or someone's statement or someone's video or something that somebody is sharing. Now you just ruined your, your good energy of the day. Take that time, meditate. Take that 15, 20 minutes in the morning, meditate. For me, it's 90 minutes. And I get up early to do it. You have to make the time for you. And when you make the time for you, even if you got to get up earlier, then get up earlier and make the time. You are investing into you. And when you do that, you start to gain a new perspective. And that starts to open up the third eye. That starts to make the things look clearer to you. And so that same energy center, and so this is also for you, Lynn, that same energy center that comes this way in the chakras also goes this way, right? So we also have that same connection. So, that whole purpley and those colors and the rainbow connection, and the rainbow's connection is when you start to bridge between your lower vibrating energy and your higher vibrating energy. And when you start to bridge that gap, when you start to take that journey, is that you recognize that is what I'm receiving here to be truth? Is this emotion, like emotions lie to us, right? Because emotions go to the past that triggers us, right? Goes to the past experience that you would have experienced before. The eyes are not always telling you the truth. But if you allow to drop to bridge, go to the bridge, then to the higher self. Ask your higher self before you ask your head, before you start asking your shadow self. Ask your higher self. Don't ask the past experiences for an answer. Never ask the past experiences for the answer. Ask your higher self to help you. And that's when you start to make the changes. You start getting back into waking up early. Oh, it makes a world of difference. It does. I'm usually up around 6. And the other thing that I do is I don't really start work till 9:30, 10. I used to rush to get to work, and so I don't usually start my day until 9:30, 10 because I work till 8, 9 o'clock. Some days I don't start working until 1 o'clock because I work till 9, 10 o'clock at night. So I make sure to balance. I'm trying my best, not every day. I'm trying my best. That's the truth. And I'm like, I catch myself in the stories that you tell are habit. So you tell yourself stories that are habit. And so when you tell yourself stories that are habit, you get caught in telling yourself lies. And so I catch myself and I correct it. And so it's the same thing as in my work in level 3, we are working on correcting our stories. So we correct it. And so we can go back and we can correct. So we're correcting things. And so you correct your statement, you correct yourself so that you know that what you're saying to yourself is now a truth. And that's how you start to change it. And that's how you stop self-sabotaging yourself. Correct the statement, even if it's a mid-statement. Say, wait, that's habit. Like I'm just repeating that habit, like a conditioned story that I would tell myself. That's not true. This is my truth. And so tell yourself the truth. Be honest with yourself. You catch yourself too, right, Lisa? Yeah, you catch yourself. Yes, this is kind of a meditation. Exactly. That's exactly right, Fran. This is because I work in spiritual healing, and because when I come in here, my intentions is to help heal your heart. So I'm always working in the energy of helping helping you, let your energy just go when you come in here. So yeah. You just answered your own question, Stacy. See? That's what happens. Hang out with me long enough and you'll start answering your own questions. That's what we do. So I hope this helped you in some ways. And thank you for hanging out with me. Thank you for taking the time in the morning. I know mornings are hard for everybody, but thank you very much. And for anyone that's on Good. I'm glad you needed that. And so, anyone who's watching later on replay, like I always say, I hope you made it to the end. I hope you stayed and you just didn't just watch the first couple seconds and get and go, that's not for me. I don't want to hear that today. Because you may be surprised at what's at the end that may be of service. It's amazing what little hidden gems are inside of each and every one of these. There's always a little hidden gem. Remember that. So, thank you all. I will see you all again tomorrow, probably around the same time, around 10ish. That seems to be working for me. Much love. Have a beautiful day. And yeah, if you're in Alberta and you're getting the snow, enjoy it for Fran. I know you're getting the snow tomorrow. Um, have a beautiful day and enjoy this beautiful snowflakes that are falling. Remember, you're all like one of those snowflakes, all unique, but all the same. Much love. Bye-bye.